The girl who was supposed to. No one expected anything. Not my teachers, not my. I was the quiet one. The. I grew up in a small town where dreams were dangerous things to talk about. People didn't fail there. They simply. My parents worked hard, but money was never enough. Arguments filled our home more often than laughter. Still, I believed education could be my escape. When I was accepted into a university in another city, no one celebrated. My aunt laughed and said, "Books won't feed you, girl." I didn't answer. I packed my clothes into one old suitcase and left. The city didn't welcome me. The streets were crowded, the buildings tall, and everything felt cold and rushed. I rented a tiny room in a shared apartment. The walls were thin, the air smelled of dampness and old paint. At night, I lay awake listening to strangers argue through the walls and wondered if I had made a mistake. Classes were harder than I imagined. Other students spoke confidently, dressed well, and acted like they belonged. I struggled to keep up. Some professors noticed my silence and assumed it meant weakness. "You should consider something easier," one of them said. I nodded. Inside, something hardened. Money became my constant fear. I skipped meals, I wore the same shoes until the soles tore open. I walked instead of taking the bus, even in winter. I started working nights. First as a cleaner, then in a small restaurant, then anywhere that didn't ask questions. My hands smelled of detergent and cheap oil. My eyes burned from lack of sleep. I studied between shifts, memorizing notes while my body begged me to rest. I cried only in the shower, quietly, so no one would hear. During my second year, rumors started. Someone saw me leaving work late with a male coworker. Another student spread a story that I was doing favors to survive. Whispers followed me through the halls. I lost friends who were never really friends to begin with. I wanted to scream the truth, but I didn't, because truth doesn't always protect you. Endurance does. I visited home every few months. Each time, my mother asked why I looked thinner. My father avoided my eyes, ashamed he couldn't help me more. My younger brother hugged me like he was afraid I would vanish. I promised him I would come back stronger. In my third year, everything collapsed. My landlord raised the rent, my job cut my hours. I fainted during a lecture from exhaustion. A doctor told me I was malnourished. I laughed. That night, sitting alone in my room, I considered quitting. Just one phone call, one train ticket, one surrender. Instead, I opened my books. The final year changed me. I stopped caring what people thought. I spoke up in class. I asked questions. I demanded my place. Professors noticed. One offered me an unpaid internship. I accepted, because sometimes opportunity comes disguised as sacrifice. Graduation day arrived quietly. No family in the audience, no flowers, no applause. Just me, holding a degree I had nearly died earning. I took the train home the next day. That's when my phone rang. My father had passed away. I stood in the train station, unable to breathe. Guilt crushed me. Regret consumed me. I had chosen education over time. At the funeral, people whispered that my studies hadn't been worth it. I didn't answer. After graduation, life didn't suddenly improve. Jobs rejected me, doors stayed closed. I worked wherever I could, saving every coin. Slowly, painfully, things shifted. A recommendation, a contract, a promotion. Years passed. I moved into my own apartment. I paid my mother's bills. I sent my brother to school. One day, I returned to my hometown. People who once doubted me asked how I did it. I smiled. I did it quietly, patiently, without permission. And that's the part they'll never understand.